My name is Zach Miller. I'm the Director of Customer Service here at Atomic Learning, and I'd like to welcome you all to today's collaborative session on how to leverage your Atomic Learning custom content tool and custom training features. We have about 8 or 9 districts online with us today, and want to thank you for taking the time to participate. We will be featuring a couple of districts during the discussion today, and we'll get started with them in just a moment. I would like to mention this is a collaborative session, and we do hope that you'll all join in the discussion and ask questions and certainly share your ideas as well. Because we have a small group, it will allow us to time for introductions. And so in just a minute, I'll actually call on each of you to introduce yourself. Again, if you want to enable video, you certainly have the option to do so. That is totally an option for you. Just you introduce yourself by audio at least if possible. I'd like you to share your name, your district, the state you're located in, and if you would, your role within the district as well. And we will allow for the presenters or the featured districts to introduce themselves at the time that they present, so I'll call on the others along the way. If this is your first Atomic Learning Collaborative session, here are a few housekeeping items to be aware of. We will keep all the lines open during the call to allow for an open dialogue, so please limit background noise during the webinar if possible, or self-mute if necessary. However, please wait to mute your phones or be prepared to unmute them to introduce yourself in just a little bit here. The chat feature is enabled. You can submit questions via chat. However, given the small size of our group, we really would prefer, in fact, if you jump into the conversation with your thoughts and ideas and questions as they are timely. And we will be recording this session in order to share it with others who are not able to join us. All ideas and questions.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. All ideas and questions are welcome. Atomic Learning hosts collaborative sessions for the districts we partner with to help avoid reinventing the wheel, so please jump into the discussion along the way and connect with your peers from across the country. So let's go ahead and get started with introductions, and then I'll turn the mic over to Tom Peterson, an account manager here at Atomic Learning, who will facilitate today's discussion. Again, we'll have the representatives from our featured districts introduce themselves at the beginning of their presentations. So let's start out with the rest of the group on the webinar. Doug, would you be kind enough to introduce yourself to get things started?
Oh, sure. Now I feel really self-conscious because I'm up on the DS with all of you guys that are really Atomic Learning people. So I'm Doug Dickinson. I'm with Lincoln Public Schools, Lincoln, Nebraska. And Lincoln is the second largest city in Nebraska, and we like to think that we are the most forward-thinking as far as video, networking, things of that nature, and sometimes the results bear that out. Anyway, I do lots and lots of video production for our district, so that includes our board meetings, presentations from different staff members, things of that nature. So I stay really busy with it, and we've got tons of video that we produced, and one of our people, Heidi, it was, Christy Peters hooked me up with Heidi a couple of days ago since Christy said we ought to put this particular thing that you just did up on Atomic Learning. So that's how I kind of got involved with Atomic Learning. So I have a total of 1 video up on Atomic Learning that I produced.
Well, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, you bet.
Durbin, would you be kind enough to introduce yourself? Okay, we'll go ahead and move along. If Harla Hutchinson could provide an introduction, please.
Hello.
Hello, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Harla Hutchinson. I am with Oak Park Elementary District 97 in Illinois. I am the student data analyst for the district, but I also have some general responsibilities for technology integration. So that's my role here.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining us today. Laura Bell, would you be kind enough to introduce yourself?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Hi, Laura Bell. I'm with Revere Local School District in Ohio, and I am a technology support specialist.
Thank you, Laura. Charla Ogden. Okay, we'll move on to the Wycliffe crew. Gina, folks can introduce themselves individually, or you can certainly introduce the group and let us know who you have with you there.
Okay, I'm Gina Pumphrey. I teach at Wycliffe Middle School. We're suburb of Cleveland, Northeast. I teach French, computer, and I do tech support for my building. We also have our superintendent, Rosie Gornick, with us. We have our high school, my counterpart at the high school. She teaches business and computer apps, and she's tech support for the high school, Robin Zalecki. We have our high school assistant principal, Michael James, and we have our middle school assistant principal, Eric Renton. And we're pretty new to this. We got involved with the ETech grant, ETech Ohio grant. We had some communication difficulties and really didn't come on board until after the ETech conference. So we're still just getting our feet wet, but are very interested to find out everything we can.
Okay, super. Well, you'll see some great examples from some of the folks that are using the feature out there. And certainly if you need any type of presentation specific to the resource or the custom features following this session, we'll be happy to provide that as well.
Thank you.
Marty McGaugh, are you able to introduce yourself? Okay, yep, it looks like the symbol here, maybe not. So I think we made it through everyone. Is there anybody that I missed that has a mic available to be able to introduce themselves?
Yeah, I'm going to try again. Unfortunately, the hang-up button looks similar to the mute button, and so we got hung up right here. But anyway, I'm Durbin Leneker, and we're tech support. That's great, right? Good start. No, I'm Durbin Leneker. I work in tech support here at Sanger Unified, California. Again, we have approximately 11,000 students here. We're in Central California near Fresno. Del Bayshore is going to be with me in a second. He's the one that hung up on us, but don't tell him I told you, okay? Anyway, so we've just gotten started with Atomic Learning. We're just rolling it out and looking at this as a way to upload video and try to do a lot of support with our teachers here.
Okay, super. Well, I want to thank everybody for the introductions. I want to throw out one more reminder on background noise that we do hear typing as it pops up. And I'm looking at the chat here. Kathy, that's not popping up for me. Give me just one moment. Oh, Charla. Charla, are you able to introduce yourself as well? Okay, muted. Alrighty. Charla's noting that they have campus integrators.
Now can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't have my built-in mic working. Yes, I'm the technology director of Seminole, Texas, Seminole ISD, K-12 school district, and I have an integrator attending from each campus. So 5 integrators here to listen how to use your product.
Super. Well, thank you. And it looks like we have great representation from across the country. I want to, before I turn it over to Tom, to really encourage everyone to jump in with questions, jump in with ideas. At the end, we'll touch on the option to have similar type collaborative sessions continue in the future if you find interest. And so what we'd like to do is provide an opportunity for you to begin the networking here with your peers from across the country, and you can certainly look at this as a starting point. So without further ado, I'd like to turn this over to Tom Peterson, who will be facilitating today's discussion. Tom is an account manager here at Atomic Learning. Tom, go ahead and take it away. Is everybody able to hear Tom?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
No? Okay, no? Here, I'll go ahead and give you my headset, Tom, and we'll be good to go.
We're in the same room. We still not across the country.
Thanks, Zach. We'll go ahead and get started here. The first part of our presentation, we're going to feature two districts. The first district will be from Missouri, and I'll turn it over to Gina and let her tell her a little bit about her district and herself, and then go through the ways that they've implemented Atomic Learning's custom content option for their district. So go ahead, Gina.
Okay. Hello from Missouri, home of the St. Louis Cardinals. It's been nice to hear where you guys are all from. So it looks like this slide, you can see a picture of me. I don't have my webcam hooked up, but I did also include my email address and a couple other different ways to get a hold of me if you guys have any questions after this webinar. So feel free to. We have two district technology specialists in the district. So that is basically all of our instructional tech department. So I am one of them. So I'm here today just to share some information with you. I'll tell you a little bit about my district. Oh, okay. Nope.
Yeah, why don't we go ahead, Brooke, why don't you introduce yourself to Brooke as the other presenter, and then we'll move into Gina's presentation. So Brooke, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and the Renton School District.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Brooke Trissler. I am the Director of Instructional Technology at Renton School District. We are just southeast of Seattle. Actually, part of our school district is in the city of Seattle. We have about between 14 and 15,000 students, and we have about 23 buildings, 13 elementary, 3 comprehensive high schools, 3 comprehensive middle schools, and a handful of alternative locations. So we're spread out over a pretty decent district within an urban setting. They're from 2 furthest buildings away. It's about a 45-minute drive, so without traffic. So we're a fairly big school district within an urban setting.
Thanks, Brooke. So Gina, we'll move on here and go ahead and go through your part of the presentation. A few facts that we have just summarizing Francis Howell, but we can move through those quickly and then on to your presentation.
Sure can. You tricked me a little bit, Tom. We switched around a couple of slides from what I saw, so I apologize. Okay, so Francis Howell, we're actually located in St. Charles, Missouri, which is right outside of St. Louis. Just want to tell you a little bit how big a district we are. We have about 23 schools, and you can kind of see below there how it's broken down. Our student population is around 20,000 students, and we have about 1,400 certified staff. So we are one of the largest school districts in Missouri. We actually, this year, this is the first year we subscribed to Atomic Learning. So we are very new at implementing this product. But I am excited. Thank you guys, everyone from Atomic Learning, for asking me to join today. One of the features that Atomic Learning offers, the custom training feature, why we're here today, this is one of the features that we're just using a lot in our district. We're really trying to use and push. So what you're seeing on this screen, this is actually some of our custom training that we have in there so far. So since it's our first year of implementation, I'm pretty happy with what we have. We have probably around 10 or so custom training series, and you can see it's kind of a variety of different things. So the first one there, it actually says FHSC, that's short for our school district, but then it says behind it FHC, High School Code of Conduct. So we have some building-specific training series in here, and then below that we have some district-specific ones that apply to all of our districts. We have a couple in there that also apply to students. So what I'm going to do today, I just kind of went through and I picked 3 of some of our most popular ones to kind of share with you and give you some ideas how we're really using the custom training feature. So the first series I kind of want to pull up and show you today is actually our new website program. We use a program called Sharp School. Like many districts, I'm sure everybody's in the same boat, we have dealt with budget cuts for the past couple years. So what we've really been trying to use the custom feature for is to help meet the PD needs of our teachers. Since we're in such a large district, a district our size, it's very difficult for just 2 of us to meet those needs of all of our teachers. So we're really trying to go more with video, online workshops. So that's why we're so excited about this part. Sharp School, our online website program, it's very hard for me to get around to 23 different buildings. So what we've started doing is building online workshops. All of our teachers are going to be required to have teacher websites next year, so we're going to offer both face-to-face and virtual. So as you can see in the screen that's pulled up, this is part of our online workshop for this. What I really like about the custom training feature is that we can not only include videos, but we can also include PDFs and different handouts. So as you'll kind of notice on the screen, the first part are some user guides, and then like the second part of the screen is video tutorials, just again short video tutorials. I actually made all of this training series that we made. And below that, we have some other additional PDFs or user guides. But I really like how everything is in one spot together. Like I said, how we can include those videos. It just makes it easier for our teachers. We've been looking at our usage statistics and different things, and actually our custom training series like that one is one of the most popular ones just because it meets the needs of our teachers, what they need to be doing, so we can really kind of customize our training like that. Okay, looks like, which one? This one?
Yes, we're up on their actual website now, Gina, so we can, we'll bring up your actual account to show how it looks for you as a user. So we'll bring that up here just 1 second.
Okay. If we want to show a short video.
Here. Yep.
Okay.
We're going to, there we go. Which video would you take?
You know what, I'll go ahead and talk about this one since you're here. Hold on just a second. This is another example, though, of how we're using it. This is one of our building-specific custom training series. This is from one of our high schools. They were looking for a creative way to talk to their students about the code of conduct. So what this high school did, they had a great idea. They actually got their students involved, and they developed some short videos. So you can kind of see on the screen, like the code of conduct video is 3 minutes and 6 seconds. So they developed some short videos based on their code of conduct, and actually they shared these videos through their homerooms, a certain classroom in their school, as a way just to kind of reinforce the code of conduct in their building. So it's just a little more exciting than maybe just listening to the principal. And I did want to quickly share one of these with you just because it's kind of fun, and it's been very popular. Actually, some of our other schools, the middle schools, really kind of want to take their idea and run with it and develop something for their building. So go ahead and click on the dress code. I will give you a heads up there. The 2 people you're going to see in the video real quick is actually a student, and then the other one is an assistant principal. So we'll play just a little bit of that to give you an idea. It seems like it's a little hard for me to hear the audio. Is it hard for you guys? I can go ahead and explain it, though. But what you saw in the video was, like I said, one of our assistant principals and a student. And the student in the video is actually one of the theater students. So he wrote the script. He got the principal to do it with him. He told them how to dress. The video is very cute. It's about a 4-minute video. But as you go through it, the principal dressed in some inappropriate attire, nothing too bad. And so the student was kind of getting on him, telling him, you know, no bellies, no butts, you know, kind of what our dress code says. Follow the bees, things like that. So it's a really cute video. The students loved it. So it's just a way, like I said, this is a very creative way that we're using the custom content training series, but we're also getting our students involved to develop some of the content. Some of the other videos there, like the code of conduct, we actually had another student develop that as like an intro code of conduct, and he did something really fun and tied in like their school mascot and different things. Like the bullying video, we actually had the principal from that building talk a little bit about bullying and different things. So this is another way, or another idea we're doing this. I'm going to have them pull up one other way and share with you how we're using some custom content. Let's see. If you pull up the FHSD employee reference, which is, I think, like the fourth one down. Yeah, pull that one up. So we're really trying to use the custom content feature from many different angles. So like the first one example I showed you, like from a PD angle, to really help our teachers and help us, meet the demands of training in PD. The second one, getting students involved, student created. This one is kind of more from an HR standpoint, and we have more ideas how to expand this. But this is like an employee resource or guide, and we don't have that many videos included, but you're going to see like it's actually broken into sections. So any employees that have questions maybe about the phones we use Cisco phones, or maybe about other employee online resources that we have, they kind of know this is a one-stop training series that they can go and they can get this helpful information. So a lot of the different items in this training series are actually documents. I did not work on this actual one, but I'm pushing some of our content creators to put more videos and different things in this one. But I do see this as a great, great resource. As our teachers, especially, I'm excited when I do new teacher training next year, to give this resource to our teachers so they know where they can go to get some of this great information. So those are kind of 3 different ways that we're using the custom training series. Oh, there it goes. He's scrolled down a little bit. So you can see how there are different sections in this training series. Like we have laptop reference guide. All of our teachers have teacher laptops, so we have the guide there for them. The calendars we have in there. We have a school notification system. There's just information in there where they can go if they want to be added or be taken off. Kind of like I said, the one-stop place for our teachers, for our employees. If you go ahead and skip to the next slide for me. And I apologize, I'm in a school building too, so you probably just heard the bell in my building. So I showed you several different examples, from PD standpoint, HR a little bit, and then just the building specific from a student standpoint. Let me talk a little bit about who's creating some of the different content that we have in there. Of course, I'm doing some of the content, some of our instructional technology people. We do have our PD director involved a little bit. I've helped her get things in there, and I'll give an example. For example, we are a big research-based district. We do a lot of things maybe with Dr. Marzano's work, or this year we've really been working on having our students set their own goals, so student goal setting. So we actually have another custom training series in there that is on student goal setting, and our PD director created that one. We have the employee reference training series that I showed you. We actually have a non-certified person who kind of runs our help desk, our technology help desk in the district. She's kind of helped compile those resources into that training series. The example I showed you from the building, we had a librarian work with her students to build that custom training series. So kind of as one of the instructional technology leaders in the district, I've had my hand in them a little bit, whether it's giving them access to do this or showing them how easy it is to set up a custom training series, or, on some of them in there, I've actually designed them. We really try to use a custom training series to fit the needs of what we're doing, our district initiative. Another example, and you might have saw it kind of from the list, was we had a training series in there, and that was on e-readers. So we're really trying to go more digital with e-books, different readers. So I had a request to put some information in there on how to use Nooks. So I have some resources, and it's just a great way that I can send those teachers, administrators to that resource. As far as the software, since we kind of have some different content creators, they're using different things. But We've had, I personally use Camtasia, which actually is not a free program, but it is well worth the money. Makes it very easy for me to use. So I use Camtasia. I have had a couple teachers use some software called Jing. Jing is actually out there on the internet. Our PD director actually took a different route, and she created a PowerPoint. So she had her slides, and she created it with her voice over the PowerPoint slides as voiceover. So that was a little more difficult because then we had to convert it to a video file format. But those are several different programs we have used to create our custom content. As far as classroom use, kind of the examples I showed you are more for faculty and staff, administrators. We're really, since it's our first year of implementation, we're really trying to target and help that group. But we did have a couple different training series in there for students. For example, I mentioned the Nook one already. Something else we also offer to students is student email and cloud file storage. I actually had some videos and some documents in there for students. So just a short video how to get into their student email account, maybe how to set up their text notifications for their student email. So I do have information for that. But for the most part, we're really kind of pushing it our first year with our teachers. But we do use it for classroom use a little bit. Before I turn it over, I will just kind of hit on maybe a few challenges we've encountered. For the most part, this is probably one of my favorite pieces of atomic learning. I'm so glad we have this. We really haven't run into any challenges. We run into a small couple technical glitches, maybe with like when we've uploaded a video to the custom training content. But our customer service, actually Heidi, who you can see up there, is who I always talk to, and I've developed a great working relationship with her. So once I email her, if we do have a small little glitch, she helps me within the day. So that has been great, just having that relationship with our account manager. Before I move on, and I have some more things I can kind of share later on, but before I move on, do you guys have questions for me from anything I've shared so far?
So go ahead, any of the participants can go ahead and ask any questions at this time, and we'll of course have questions at the end of Brooke's presentation as well.
Here, I'll turn my webcam back on so you can see me. You may have covered this, but how many people do you have in your system that are actually producing videos?
Probably right now this year, we probably have about 4 or 5, like a handful of different people, but okay. We are very open. Like if I have a technology person in a building, I would quickly show them or give them access to, kind of like the high school who did the code of conduct videos. I knew the librarian. I just sat down with her, showed her how easy it was, and then she kind of took it over, developed the videos, and built that short training series. So right now we just have a handful, and most of them are district-wide people, but we are giving our buildings the option to have some building-specific things.
Mm-hmm. Are you doing kind of a combination of live video shots and also screen movies, or just mostly live video at this point?
Most of ours is live video shots, or like a screencasting. I'll just do screencasting of my screen,
right?
Showing them how it works. But like I said, we're really using the documents, like both the documents to go along with the video. And I love how you can put it all in one training series.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Well, let's go ahead and we'll move on to Brooke. And we just kind of brought up a little screen here. Brooke, I think you kind of covered this, but if there's anything else you want to say for general introductions, and then we'll go ahead on into your presentation.
Yeah, thank you. And welcome to everybody. I think that I've pretty much summed that up. We have about a little over 14,000 students, and our enrollment is moving up by about 125 students per year. We have about 750 full-time equivalent teachers, and we have a teaching staff of a little over 900. 26 school sites. We are opening up a brand new alternative center this coming fall. It's a brand new building, which is nice because if you're familiar at all with alternative education, they always get the leftover scraps of buildings that people don't want. So we built them a brand new building. We also have a brand new elementary school. opening up, which is going to be great, so that'll push our school count up a little bit. One of the reasons that we looked at atomic learning initially, and we've been with atomic learning for, I think, 3 years, 2.5 years, was that we have a very small instructional technology staff that's tasked with training all of our staff on all district technology. We have between 2 and 3 people, including myself, and we can't get out to all the buildings as much as we'd like. So one of the pieces of feedback when we started putting more resources in place to serve our piece of feedback that was very clear was we need technology training and professional development training on a just-in-time basis on the weekends, on the weekdays, in the mornings, a lot during the summer. One of the things that really assists our district with technology training is that we have technology professional development hours that staff can claim at their hourly rate. So in the past it's fluctuated. This year all of our certificated staff have 12 hours that they can claim at their hourly rate. Administrators have the same. And so that has really driven the use, I think, of atomic learning quite a bit and our other building technology training. Something new that we did this year within our people infrastructure is that we've added a stipend position in every building. Actually, one stipend position in every elementary school and 2 stipend positions at every secondary school. Our non-comprehensive locations, our alternative schools, our early childhood center, buildings that only have a handful of staff members in them, they all got 1 staff member as well. And this is the person that's going to be training them out in the building. They use atomic learning, whether it's the pre-slug content that atomic learning comes with or the custom content. They use that to supplement their technology training section. So the 2 things that we were looking for was how can we provide technology training in a just-in-time environment where staff can access in the morning, in the afternoon, during school, on the weekends, during the summer. We were looking at that. We were also looking at a way to deliver and develop custom content. Along with development and delivery of custom content, as we were really also looking for a way to track the usage as well. And so we looked at a handful of products, and to be honest, not just because I'm sitting right here in front of you, there's no other company that can beat what Atomic Learning's doing for the price point. And we looked at, like I said, 5 or 6 different companies, and a lot of them were cost prohibitive for the amount of licenses that Atomic Learning offers, and a lot of the other ones were prohibited because they didn't allow custom training. So we've been super happy with it. So the first year of implementation is we just started with kind of the pre-slug content that comes with Atomic Learning. We weren't going to get into developing any custom content the first year. I had one individual who had, one of my staff members had a lot of experience with video production, and so I had him do some testing and some video for, you can see it on your screen. Actually, it's not on there. Oh, yeah, the third one down, presentation station, and he did a lot of work on that. He has since left, so we are looking at hiring somebody else who's going to be a technology trainer, but we're going to be looking for somebody who has video production skills and graphic design skills as well as being a certificated teacher. So the videos that you see up there are some sampling of our custom content. We really have just delved into this last year. One of the biggest leaders of this was our professional learning communities right away. What we did is we started professional learning communities on a delayed start basis. So every Friday our school is delayed by an hour, and we meet in various different groups, grade level and school groups. And we had a large presentation leading up to the start of these, and we gave out professional development hours for attending those sessions. And so the group came to me as soon as the sessions were done, and they said, or actually we were in the middle of the sessions, and they said, hey, we have these in-person presentations that we're doing. and we want our staff to go through them, and we want to make sure that they are going through them. How can we deliver that content? We kicked around a few different ideas, YouTube being one of them, and we just resolved on, hey, let's put them up on Atomic Learning and try to drive everybody one place to get their training. So that kind of started it. It was real basic. It was just a PowerPoint presentation that we saved the slides out into JPEGs, and then we had there were 4 or 5 different presenters, and we brought them all in at one time, and they did the voiceovers. It was pretty quick. I think that there are 4 videos, if I'm not mistaken, 3 videos, and we were able to do them in a couple hours. We just arranged, thanks, Zach or Tom or Heidi, whoever's doing that. So there are 4 videos. They're nothing real special in the look, except for the content that is being delivered, and folks that were either not in the district at the time are able to go back and watch kind of why we set up PLCs in Renton. It also has I think the part 1 is about the history of Renton. It's not very flashy, but it gets the content across, and that's kind of where we started. If you scroll down a little, I'm sorry, who's driving here? Is that Zach or Tom? Can you scroll down a little bit? So what we've done is, as we've had different components of the PLCs come on board, is we've either taped presentations, or I think a lot of them are just the PowerPoints that they use with voiceovers, and then we've put those up there for folks as well. If you want to scoot back one page, the next thing that we kind of, the next group, and I should say is that, and I think there's a slide in the presentation that says this, but I'll just say it right now if that's okay, is that the special ed training was the next big group to come on board. And what we've done is we've really kind of put the tool Atomic Learning out to our staff and out to our district leaders and said, and have told them what it's about, have showed them what it's about. The majority of our district has had experience with Atomic Learning of doing the pre-created content, and so they're pretty familiar with what it is. And so we've had the majority of the folks come to us and say, we want to do our own videos and put them up. So that's how we can get by with not having a lot of infrastructure of people creating videos. So special ed, we've done a lot of revamping within our special ed department all across the district. We've had a new administrator come on board, and she really wants to ensure that our special ed teachers are getting training on writing correct IEPs and conducting meetings throughout the IEP process. And so the first one, so these are just 4 different sections, videos. There's nothing flashy about them. These are just PowerPoint slides. And so what we learned from this experience is, and if you talk to anybody in video production, they'll say the planning part is more important than the filming and the post-production part. And so the first presentation, which you can see is about a 10-minute video, I think it took us a total of like 4 weeks. It was just really overbearing, and it's just a PowerPoint slide. And what it taught us was to work with the people on really how to design the content that they want to present, not necessarily help them how to do it. I think that, at least in our district, the majority of the folks can be given a video camera and a laptop, and they can go and shoot everything and edit it and put it together, because we don't have the staff right now to do that. But what they do need help in is planning the final product. And so we've designed some templates that help walk them through that. And so while the first, I think it's 10 minutes, the first special ed video took an ungodly amount of time to put together with them. The next one took a little bit less. The next one took a little bit less. And the 4th video, I think it's called Prior Written Notice, took us about 30 minutes to do. And it was because by then we had modified and changed and fine-tuned our design process and forms, and they put everything together. They walked in to our department area. They sat down at the laptop, and they read through the script, and everything lined up perfectly, and we hit render and uploaded it within about an hour. So what the special ed department's doing is, as they hire special ed teachers, is they have a fall summer retreat that all the special ed teachers go to, and then they have as supplemental resources is they have to go through and watch all of these videos. And so we've given one of the special ed, we have 3 special ed directors, and one of them has access to go in and run the reports to see exactly which one of their special ed teachers has watched what video. Kind of an interesting thing that we have found about this is that when we go through the reporting is that we have some non-special ed teachers watching the videos, which is always kind of interesting. We never thought that anybody else would watch them, but it's interesting that we have some staff that want to know more about the IEP writing process, and they'll take it upon themselves to watch the 45 minutes worth of content, or however, about 45 minutes worth of content. So that's been something really nice to come out of it. We are looking, and all of our sections of custom content is we're looking at expanding just as we go. And so I know that they are working on, and it's kind of nice because the special ed department's working on their 5th video, and then they'll come back when they're ready to kind of put it together and put it up online. So we are really trying to work very hard at enabling our staff to do this on their own while we just try to manage the tool and help them out. So the next, just very quick, the next session we have been working on is our instructional framework. We have gone through a massive school improvement initiative from our state department. Over the past 3.5 years, we have come out of school improvement, outside of the school improvement grant this school year, but we are continuing the work. Part of the work was to design what good instruction on our school district looks like and do staff training. So we have put a lot of programs, be it trainings, professional development, videos, other technology resources in place to help facilitate that school improvement work. And so we've been working on, that's something our department's taken on, is building professional development along with our curriculum department and our assistant superintendent to get all that content put together and put it up on Atomic Learning. You want to move to the next slide there? Our department, which is a department of myself, a part-time admin assistant, and 2 other guys, and some of the tech stipend positions out in the buildings for training that I mentioned before, is we work directly with all district departments. We have been in some talks with maintenance and facilities and transportation, and this coming year hopefully we're going to be hiring 1 to 2 new people in addition to help with the workload, and we will be really focusing on developing content for Atomic Learning for our training component of our job. And we have had very, very little challenges with custom content. At the beginning, it was really hard to put the videos together. We've used you name I think Gina named pretty much all of them. Camtasia, Jing, we've used Premiere, Adobe Premiere, we've used iMovies, we've had some teachers use their own personal software to create their movies. So we really haven't had any challenges other than just setting up and trying to make the video filming and editing process as quick as possible. It's a great idea, but for us, having a small staff, it takes a lot of time. But because of our design and our planning processes, we've really been able to whittle that time down and try to make it as quick as possible. But we've had no pushback in our district about Atomic Learning. We've had a lot of support. The majority of the use of Atomic Learning is actually during the summer because staff are trying to finish up their technology hours. So we get July and August are our highest usage months. But really, we've just gotten out and told our staff and our district about Atomic Learning, what it can do for them, and departments have really come to us. Special ed just said, hey, we want to do this and put it up, and so it was super easy for us. And we also just keep our eyes open. When we do presentations in the district, professional development opportunities is we always try to have somebody there with a video camera. And while we can't film all the sessions, we'll try to grab 1 or 2 of them and put them up there. So we are kind of doing a mix between live video and then also just simple video presentations that are made out of either still images or PowerPoint presentations. So I talked a lot about the software and how we produce the trainings. I feel like we're really lucky in our district is that folks have come to us and they are more than willing to produce their own videos and trainings, and we help them a lot. And some of them we've had to watch through, view a few times and say, hey, you might want to shorten this section. You might want to take this part out or add this part in, and folks are more than willing to work with us and vice versa. Selecting training, like I said, is we look for what's available and we put it up there. I got some great ideas from Gina to do the student code of conduct, and also we have been rewriting our board policy on technology, and we will be doing a new acceptable use policy for our staff that they have to sign off on. So we'll probably do that on Atomic Learning. Our staff, we're also doing some other things. Is we are refreshing all of our teacher computers this coming year, and we're moving from desktops to laptops, which for some districts isn't a big deal, but for us it is. We're trying not to make it a big deal, so we'll put a lot of the professional development on Atomic Learning for that as well. Challenges, none, really that have been significant enough that would derail what we're doing. And then future directions is we're just looking at growing our content library, learn from other folks that are using Atomic Learning in other districts around us, and just trying to be open to ideas and fit it in for when we have time to work on it and trying to make it a priority. So hopefully this time next year is we will have 2 to 3 times the amount of the custom videos that we have now.
Thanks, Brooke.
You're welcome, Tom. Does anybody have any questions?
Yes, I have a question. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, my name is Rosie. I'm the superintendent in the Wycliffe schools in Ohio.
Welcome.
I was wondering, and I don't know who else is listening, but for Brooke or anybody else, when you are developing content, do you ever like upload a link from a proprietary source that could get into copyright issues, or do you avoid that? Because sometimes you can just send somebody, like if it was on internet safety, you could say, go to this website and learn about internet safety. Or you could house it in Atomic Learning. Now it's got a boundary, it's now part of your professional development, but you're then redirecting them to potentially this link. So, I mean, do you ever do that, or is that something you try to avoid? Because, man, it would be so easy to do something on internet safety that could just take them to another link. Why would I develop that,
Right. That's a great question. Welcome from Ohio, my home state. Yeah, that's a great question. And with everything that we do, one of the departments I also oversee is libraries. And so I have been given, quite the experience with copyright laws from our librarians. And we would never put, I can say that we have not put anybody else's content other than the content that we've created on our website or on Atomic Learning. And we've even had to ask a person to change the background music because it would have been copyright infringement. So as part of my role in the district is I feel like I really need to protect our district from copyright infringement. But that you bring up a bigger question, which Heidi and I have talked about quite a bit over the years, and that is forming partnerships with other businesses we work with that have training videos to host them on Atomic Learning, because I think where Atomic Learning is really effective is to drive everybody to one place to get the training video.
Yeah.
So we're dealing with the same internet safety thing as well out here. Actually, it's just passed the state law that we have to have a policy in place, which we just finished writing. And so we are going to actually be looking at doing kind of a hybrid system, which is doing a lot of research, gleaning off the really great material, developing our own, and then most of it will be hosted on Atomic Learning, but some of it that we can't recreate because it's so good that if we try to recreate it, we'd just be copying it, which would be a copyright infringement. We are setting up a section on our website We're actually redeveloping a component of our website which allows for parents and student portals, and so we'll be putting the internet safety stuff up there. But
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of been that's been something that we've been talking quite a bit about, and I'm always forthcoming. We've worked with some really great companies to where they say, well, how do you train your staff? And I bring up atomic learning, and they say, oh yeah, we've heard of that, or no, we've never heard of that. And so I always encourage them to talk. Heidi gave me a contact, I forget who it is, but to forward those on and just trying to get them to form partnerships with some of the bigger companies that we work with that have a lot of videos. If it's a one-off video, then we can just put a link up somewhere on our intranet.
I can speak to that a little bit too. This is Gina from Francis Howell. As far as not really links, but for example, as far as copyright or just legal stuff, the video I tried to pull up to show you guys with the student and the assistant principal, I for sure made, we were cleared with all legal things for me just to even show that in the webinar today, So we make sure our students are not on our FERPA list, the list where we can show their picture or video, things like that. As far as like some of our district-specific programs, like I think I talked about one, our website program, our gradebook program, we have video tutorials in there. I have a good relationship. We subscribe to those companies too. So, and a lot of times as far as that, they just tell me as long as it's behind a password-protected space, and that's what this is, and we're fine as far as that, the legal part there. I can throw one other example out there. One of my future goals, we're trying to move ahead with bring your own device in our district. So one of my goals this summer is actually to kind of build an online workshop for teachers on bring your own device. And there's a great video from a school district in Georgia. And all I did, I contacted the guy who's heading up the bring your own device and asked if I could take parts of his video and cut out clips of it. And so I've already gotten permission from them. So I kind of contact too, and I know you were talking about more links, but as far as like if I want something, I just contact the people and I double check and get permission.
Okay,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's all right. One way perhaps to do it, because we wanted to post some information from a proprietary. It was kind of it was a text, and they said that we could put it up on our website as long as it was a password protected website. So that might be another workaround, even through Atomic Learning, because you need a password to get through it. And so there might be an openness if you get that kind of permission, to just post it with permission if it's through a secure website or Atomic.
Yep, definitely. Yeah. That's how we get around some of it. Yep.
And I've had the same experience as well as you mentioned, is a lot of the companies that we work with education, even though they have this intellectual property that's proprietary, they are pretty open to sharing that as long as it's under a password-protected environment. So.
Right.
Well, I'm glad to see both of you, modeling this behavior on intellectual property rights, because we're all about that here. I'm actually in the media services department, so yeah, I get the lecture too, Brooke. Well, and I preach the lecture too. So, Brooke, one of my questions for you is, since you tend to have some people that are providing content for you that aren't necessarily, trained, video production, etc. You're getting them kind of from all over. I know, and that the biggest problem is always good audio. Do you run into that a lot? And if so, do you need to go in and tweak? And I'll bet you're reaching for a solution right there, aren't you?
Yes, I am. So audio was a initial was a problem, was a challenge. I'll back up. Yes, we had one challenge. It was the audio, and we were using those old school microphones that plug into the computers that are kind of long and thin, and they look like it would be something to clean your teeth with, and they didn't sound very good. So what we invested in was right here, you can see it. and it's a USB. It was about $100. It's an Audio-Technica AT2020 USB model, and it plugs into your laptop or your computer, and it sounds great. And so if you go and listen, I'm not sure if they're going to have access to it or not, but if they go and listen to if you go and listen to the first videos that we've done, the audio sounds like it was somebody on the telephone, and then the next series, the special ed series of videos, have a lot cleaner and clearer audio signal. And so that was one of the things that we invested in to get better sounding audio. So I would recommend
Good.
that.
Are your people pretty comfortable using that then?
People who don't normally speak into a microphone are not comfortable with it.
Yeah.
But we just tell them to deal with it, and they have to do it. We had, when we did the special ed videos, one of the directors felt really uncomfortable, and I said, hey, just let's set this up in your office, pull the blinds shut, turn off the lights, and everybody thinks your voice sounds great, so, it'll be okay. But, yeah, it takes a couple times to set somebody up who's never done this before. Now the director of special ed who does the voiceovers for their videos, she'll come in and sit down and just blow through them in one take, and she's done. And so.
Good. Okay. Because that's always the issue that I face. I end up doing a lot of it, or being the voiceover. Maybe because I'm really picky about having good audio, or other people are just too shy. So that's good to know that you've come up with a solution that people are comfortable with. Thanks.
Yeah. Hey, Zach, can I paste the link for this microphone in the chat? Is that okay?
You bet.
Okay.
We're approaching the top of the hour here, and so I don't want to cut this off. We'll be happy to leave the session open so you can continue a dialogue and questions with one another. But did want to take a moment, first off, to thank both Gina and Brooke for presenting and sharing some insight into how they're using the custom features within their district. I also did want to pose a question, and you can shoot a note through chat, or you can send a note back directly to us, or you can chime in now if you'd like to. We're wondering, among our customers that are using the custom feature, if we were to hold sessions like this on a semi-frequent basis or a regular basis to come together and have you share examples of the type of content that you're producing, would that be helpful? And even outside of the webinar format, would you like a space to share content or a vehicle for sharing content with one another? In some cases, even if it's the outlines of what you're producing, so that you can fill in the blanks that are specific to your districts. Would that be of interest to folks?
Yeah, I
think so.
Yeah, I think Wycliffe would like it. That was going to be one of my questions. I mean, could we share these ideas and the content that people are putting up? Yeah.
Okay. We'll definitely explore the different vehicles for doing that, whether it's connecting districts directly, whether it's something via our website potentially, if we have enough interest there. And we'll be reaching out to you to learn a little bit about the type of examples you might be looking for, and then we can reach out to our customers and see if they might have something that would fit the bill as well. So that's certainly something that we'll explore. Are there any other final questions while we have everybody on the line that someone would like to pose, or anyone would like to pose before we wrap up officially? And then we'll informally keep the lines open in case you'd like to connect and ask some additional questions. But knowing we're approaching the top of the hour here, just want to throw that out. Any final questions?
I have one, Zach.
Go ahead.
Gina at Wycliffe, the other Gina. You said at the beginning that this was going to be recorded. How will that be made available?
We will go ahead and email it out so that you have access to it and can utilize it.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And if you have any additional questions, you can certainly reach out to your account manager, or we have the general contact info for our customer service team available there as well. We welcome and would love all of your ideas related to collaboration around this topic or other topics. It's something we'd certainly like to expand upon, but of course we need our customers and partners that are interested in coming together, and we certainly can provide the space to do so.
Now I'm mute. No? Oh, sorry. Thought we were on mute.
Okay, well, thank you everybody for attending today. We'll leave the space open for informal discussion for a couple more minutes if anybody wants to connect with one another here. Thank you.